Hey, let's get this back together. Now we're live again. All right. Oh boy. Okay, everybody. You're probably wondering what this is and why you right off the bat you're seeing a screen share. Okay. I got to tell you my background, then you'll understand some things. I did radio for a long time and all that good stuff, right? I currently do Bible studies for people around the world, Africa, Europe, South America, and different places. All right, because they watch it on Facebook Live or YouTube Live. All right, all right. This is where I'm going. It's not about Bible studies. It's not about anything of that nature. But let me tell you some audio background of what I actually work with right now before I get to this particular promotion that's not paid for. And it's serious, by the way. All right. I currently use Antelope Audio Zen Q, Antelope Audio Zen Q Thunderbolt Edition. All right, with all the plugins. I have the open state of everything they have for Antelope Audio. I also use a Neumann MT48 audio interface, which is a killer. I mean a killer. What you're listening to right now. What you're listening to right now is my Earthworks Ethos broadcast microphone going into my Duet 3 audio interface. All right? Just so you know right now. This is why you see the screen share right in front of you. Now, before I explain or get into any of these settings right now, let me just break down Antelope Audio. Phenomenal vintage renditions of preamps and equalizers, and I have a channel strip on there that nobody ever uses, but I use it. Like, for instance, I start off with a noise gate, and then I go into a mic preamp, and then I go into a compressor, right? Then I do something crazy different. I use two Neve or BAE channel strips for EQ. I use the 1073 and the 1023 together. They just both doing two different things. All right, for EQ. It's phenomenal. Got to try it sometime. All right. Okay. You see what the title of this says. Apogee Duet 3. Simply the best audio interface. Hands down. I'm telling you this. All right? I'm telling you this. All right? And I'll tell you why. Okay. Antelope Audio and the Apollo, Twin X and all that, they used vintage simulations. All right? Beautiful sounding. Okay? Beautiful. All right? The Neumann MT48, beautiful sounding. I mean, fun. Got stuff you can do with it for days, right? The problem with the Neumann is, it may not be a problem to some. If you're doing voiceover work, then it's hands down the best. Well, I don't know. We'll get there. Because it's so sterile. You're not getting anything extra like the Apollo or the Antelope Audio. You're not getting it with the Neumann. Stop right there. If you're going to buy it and spend $1,850 on it, forget about it. You're going to be shocked when you hear what you really sound like. All right? You're going to be very surprised. Very sterile. Very, very sterile. All right? Very sterile. The other is the Antelope Audio. Awesome. But at the same time, the drivers, you don't know when you're going to be able to use it, when you're not, when it's going to slow up. It's just ridiculous. Okay? So the Antelope Audio, until they get their drivers together, that's out of the way. Let's narrow this down to these two right here. Look at what you see on the screen right now with the Duet through Apogee ECS channel strip. All right? And the Apogee Control 2 software. You see right in front of you with my screen share. All right? Simple. It works day in, day out, doesn't skip a beat. It is what it is. Now, when it comes to what you're hearing right now, I just put this together. See right here in the corner down here? Right down here in the corner, it says Ethos 1. I just slapped this together. So you can actually hear it, because I had to tell somebody about this audio interface. All right? The Duet 3 is not colored like, using the ECS channel strip, that is. It's not colored like my Antelope Audio or an Apollo Twin X, right? It's not as colored, has some, but not as colored. But at the same time, it's not as sterile as my MT48. Are you following me? So what you're hearing right now is my Earthworks Ethos again, going directly into my Duet 3 audio interface. Now, if you're a person who is, if you're live streaming by yourself, or maybe you have one other guest with you, right? You ain't going to find nothing better than this. I'm sorry to tell you. Matter of fact, let me change that. I'm happy to tell you. Buy a Duet 3. The only drawback to the Duet 3, and I can't believe Bob Clearmountain hasn't done this yet. The only drawback is that the ECS channel strip does not have a gate built into it, or a de-esser. But later for the de-esser. Let's throw that out the window. We don't need a de-esser. Sure, yeah, but no, I don't need all that more processing. But this ECS channel strip with a noise gate would have been, I would never have purchased my Neumann MT48. Put it that way. I would have never purchased it, because my Neumann MT48 is beautiful, though. I mean, the amps in it, beautiful. The headphone amps, serious. I mean, everything. The things you can do with it is phenomenal. Plus, it has 2 headphone jacks in the front, like my Antelope Audio Zen Q, right? The Symphony Desktop doesn't have 2 headphone outputs in the front. The Apollo Twin, I think you have to go to the 4 or whatever it's called to get that. It's ridiculous. But the Neumann has 2 headphone jacks in the front. Phenomenal. It has everything in the Neumann MT48, but it's very sterile. You got to really work with the EQ on that thing to get it to where you want it to be. You really do. Don't let anybody tell you anything different. Now, because I use it naked, that means I'm not using it through CVOX or anything else to clear it up, or I'm using just the Neumann MT48 when I'm using it. So you really have to dial in the EQ to get a sound similar to what you're hearing now. But I'm telling you again, if this Apogee Duet 3 had a noise gate, you will not need anything else at all. I'm telling you. The preamps, beautiful. You hear them right now. Where's it at? I'm at 25 dB. Are you kidding me? I'm at 25 dB right now. Look down here. My headphones, right now I got them loud. All right? On my Antelope Audio, that would be at -5. On my headphone right here, it would be at -5. It's ridiculous. It would definitely be at -5. It's ridiculous. I got to take a sip of coffee. Absolutely ridiculous. You would definitely, and look at these settings of mine. And I just threw these together. I'm at 9 dB over here on the, and I think I'm running, 70, I'm at a 70 hertz. I have a 50 cut, high pass or cutoff right here. And then I'm at 4K here, and the other one on the screen share would be the one next to it will be my high shelf. That's running at 11K. And then down here I'm using the, I'm at my threshold, I'm at 20, 3-to-1 ratio on my compressor. I'm kind of wet right here. I mean, and then it has some other stuff as you see on the right. It has drive, which you can saturate some things, and it has all that. Then you have a switch where you can say EQ or compressor first or last, whatever. My point is, you can't buy anything better. I don't care if it's the Symphony Desktop. I don't care if it's the MT48. The MT48 beats this for only one reason. One reason. And it's very similar to the Duet 3. The DSP, the software on the inside that you see, that's all it's running. So that makes it very efficient and very, it's not going to lag on you or do any of that stuff. All right. I got to leave. But I'm telling you, look at the settings. I'm running 48 volts phantom power, as you see on my screen share. I'm running dual. I'm using both preamps, dual, a combination. My limiter is on. My headphones together, dual. And that's it. And these are my settings. I'm telling you right now, if it's just you, but if you do need a noise gate, you can download the Crisp app. But I did find with the Crisp app, it knocks down your volume by 2 dB or something like that. Does it matter? Probably not. I could have turned it on right now because I have Crisp set up here. I could have did that, but I wanted you to hear and get the naked truth for what this is actually doing right now. All right? So this is the Apogee Duet 3. I'm going through the Earthworks Ethos broadcasting microphone, and all you see in front of you right now on this screen share is the ECS channel strip. Nothing's better. I'm telling you right now, nothing is better than this. Nothing. Not no audio interface that I've seen. This thing sounds serious. It really does. I could have plugged up my Neumann TLM 103, but I keep that connected to the MT48. But this is my desk setup. This is my computer, Zoom, or I can live stream. This is my setup for my computer. My Earthworks Ethos going into my Duet 3. But I'm telling you right now, there's nothing better. Whether it's my desk setup for my computer or my live streaming setup, which I use my MT48, or I can use my Antelope Audio. But because those drivers are so bad as Antelope Audio, you don't know when it's going to work. You really don't. So I'm done. I'm done with Antelope Audio. Done with them. But Apogee Duet 3. Nothing better. I'm telling you, I don't care how much money you want to spend. It's not cheap though. It's still like $600 or $700. So it's not cheap, especially when you get the deck on the back of it so you can plug into. You're around $750, $800. But there's nothing better. Listen to the sound. You listen to the sound yourself. And look at my settings. I'm at 25 dB, my friends. 25. And my headset on the right is at 16. And that's loud in my headphones right now. I kid you not. Whether this is a perfect combination or whatever, but the amps in this, I don't know what amps they put into, these preamps they put into the Duet 3. They might be the same as the Symphony Desktop because this thing blows anything away for the money and for the sound. And like I said, I just threw this EQ together. That's why it says on the ECS channel strip, it says Ethos 1 because that's what it is. This is the first. I just slapped it together and I came on live right now. So I just had to give you a heads up from experience. I love my MT48. I wish it wasn't as sterile, but it's serious though. It is serious. The sound is serious. You just got to get accustomed to a sterile sound. But one more thing before I go. When you're listening to a sterile sound, what's funny about it is it sounds sterile in your headset, no matter how you EQ it. You can EQ it. You got to do some things to get it to sound like this right here. But what's funny about that sterile sound goes away once you get in the car and you play back in the car. It's kind of funny. But The Duet 3 is in between Sterl and the Apollo and my Antelope Audio with all the fixings and the mic preamps and the simulations. It sits right in the middle, perfect. So if you're a voiceover artist, okay, you got an MT48 at home. But if you don't have a Duet 3 for the road when you're in a hotel somewhere and you got to do a gig, something's wrong with you, because there is nothing better than the Duet 3. At home on your desk or doing voiceover work in a closet in a hotel, nothing's better. Take care, my friends. I hope this helped you out. By the way, I'm not a YouTuber, as you can tell. I just got a screen share up. No YouTuber, just a serious guy about audio.